In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Bricks Boost, what it is, what it does, and how it's going to help you in your Bricks world. Let's take a look at the website here. As you can see, there's 6 main features of this. The idea is to keep it small and easy to use because productivity is everything that this is about. Now, the first thing is a custom variable picker. This is very cool and integrates fully with the new Bricks scale system and their color palettes, and I'll show you all this in a bit. We have a quick add bar, which is, some of you may be familiar with this. It quickly adds elements onto your structure. Next up, we have CSS Boost, which is a CSS enhancer that allows for really good code editing and speeds up CSS editing big time, as does CSS Snippets. This allows you to save a little chunk of code, tell it where you want the cursor, so a couple little lines and you're done. And then we have a Lorem ipsum generator right inside of the builder and an auto class select that helps you just zip around. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at it. So on this, I have a basic install here. I have a few colors that I've created on a custom palette. And other than that, for the variables, I have used the new typography and the spacing, and that's about all I have. So that's it right now. Okay, now before I show you what the new picker's like, let's take a look at the old picker and see what the issue is. If I want to set my font size here and I come in and I say, okay, I have to open up my typography and let's say I take an XL. And now if I wanted to, say, put a padding in and I come up and I choose this variable, well, it's still on typography, isn't it? And it just doesn't know what, which of these variable groups to show. And that's what's really cool with Bricks Boost. You have in your variable picker, I can choose, whichever. Again, I only have the spacing and typography in this one, but I have spacing and typography and, I can add ones for the other stuff. So for instance, let's go ahead and show you how this works. Instead of clicking here on the variables, we're just going to right click here and it knows to bring up spacing. So I can say, okay, XL. And if I go to my typography and I right click here, it knows to have the typography because I've told it which categories to get from. Also with the color picker, this one's really big. Instead of having to click, color palette and then just getting this garble of all your colors kind of jobbed into one, what you have now is you just right click in your color palette and here you get all your grouped colors. Here's my primary color with all my lights, my darks, and my trans. And if I don't have, like for dark, you wouldn't really have a dark versions of dark. So I've left it out. And as you can see, it just shows you the lights and the trans, or in the case of light, just the trans. So this alone really speeds things up, and it allows you to quickly come in, set your color, and you know what you're doing, and you could go, oh, no, you know what, I want it L2 instead, and whatever, So that's basically how the color picker works. Now let's take a look at it on something where, we'll actually be able to see something. So here on this basic text, I'm going to set my background color. So I'll right click, I'll pick a nice darker color. Tell you what, let's give that some padding. We come in here. See, we don't have to goof around because we already have the right things. Now, let's say let's go ahead and save this. And if I wanted to make this border, radius, unfortunately, I don't have anything set for it yet. So let's go ahead and create one. So I'm going to come in here, and just to show you, you can call it whatever you want. I call it my radiuses, or radius. I don't know what the plural of radiuses is. So I have my radius. Now I'm going to call mine rad M, which isn't what I would normally call it, but just so that you understand. So that's a medium, and we'll call that 0.5 M. We'll save that, and I'll create a rad L, obviously, which is slightly bigger, and we'll make this 1M. All right, just so that we have a category and we have a few values in there. And now that we have that, we'll go here and let's just go ahead and refresh this so that it picks up on what the new categories are. And now for border radius, I can come here and I can say, oh, my radius. Okay, great, my radius. Now, all of these are just going to show you your variable categories. So, except for the last one with grid, you'll see one that says BB grids. And the reason is, grids are kind of just a code that's sort of universal. So having ones for everybody seemed a little silly. So I'm going to go ahead and choose BB grids. And now that I've done that, we can come back here. I will refresh this browser. And now let's put our radius here. So we're going to select the box. And on the box, we're going to go to our border. We'll go to border. And on our radius, see, it knows our radius. And there's our two rad and M and L. And we'll just choose M. And this is, I don't know why it's been like this forever with bricks. When you pop in, any of the frameworks do it. When you pop something in, it auto closes. I don't know why. But anyway, so there it is. And if I want, I can change that to say rad L, and now it's L all the way around. Okay. Now to show you the next thing, which is the grid, I'm going to actually also show you the other feature, which is the quick add bar. Now, for those of you who, know Advanced Themer, I'm going to be straight up. This was a feature that was in Advanced Themer. I loved it. I think Maxime did a great job with Advanced Themer. The problem is it got so big that, I, along with a lot of other people, have had to stop using it. It just outgrew the benefits that I used were outweighed by spending hours going through settings pages, and it just got crazy. So I decided to include it, but I do want to, mention that this is where the idea came from, and there you go. So here's the quick add bar. So let's quickly add some stuff. So we're going to add a new section, and here's the section here. And in this section, we're going to add a block, and in that block, let's add 3 other blocks. And I tell you what, just so that we can see what's in those, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll delete these 2, and in this block, I'll add text, and just so that we have something, all right? So this is kind of future me fixing a thing I missed when talking about the quick add bar, and that is that you can totally, kind of make it your own. You could take things out or add things and, just have it any way that you want. And if you want to add a separator, let's say after this text link, I want to add a separator bar. There's a separator bar. So, that'll help you understand how the quick add bar is customized. And I will duplicate that 2 more times so that we have 3 of those blocks. And now on this block here, let's make it a grid. And so what we'll do is we'll go grid. Now, again, we used the BB grid before, so I can just right click and there's my grids. And it's pretty basic. This is standard across kind of all frameworks and whatnot, So here I'm going to choose grid 3. I'm going to want some gap. So I'm going to go here to my spacing, space M. And there you go. My grids are done. And if I want to, I could select all 3 of these. I should have used a class, but that's okay. I can select all 3 of these, come in here, say link all the padding. We'll put a padding of M. And I tell you what, let's also, because I'm there you go. And, one last thing, let's put that border in and we get our radius of M. And there you go. 3 cards done. So you see how quick having these variables at your fingertips, and they're your variables. You're not using some framework. This is going to come with you to every site you do. Just bam, 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 bam. This will never grow to having hundreds of features. This is a small little app that's just meant to make things quicker. So now we've looked at 2 of the features. Let's look at the next one, which is the CSS editor. Now, let's say for this CSS, we'll come here, and I tell you what, I had some stuff in there from before. We all know that you can press R and press tab, and, the problem has been that it doesn't autocomplete. You type in some words and nothing comes up. Well, now you have actual autocomplete. So you can go down to background color. There you go. But you can also use your variables. So if I press V, it's going to say, okay, you want to do a variable. So it's going to autocomplete that. But watch what it does. When I press enter, it puts my mouse right where I want it. Puts my cursor, I should say, right where I want it. And I could just write primary, and there you go. As ugly as that is, they all go in there, okay? Now, let's say I wanted to use border radius, okay? So we're going to go border radius, and there it is, and we select it. Now I want to use a variable again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press V, press enter, but watch this time. Now, because I'm using a radius, if I type in RA, it knows that I'm trying to get to my radiuses, and I can just choose which radius I want. So in this case, let's say L, and there you go, border radius all around. And if I wanted to, I could say padding and just say variable, and we'll go space, and we'll say space M. You getting how quick this is, Billy? Like, this really saves you a ton of time, all right? So that's that one. Now, let's take all that off. One other thing that I forgot to show is that on the CSS Boost, you can also adjust the font size, which allows you to see the code in the editor a whole lot easier, right? The next feature is a really cool one. It's CSS snippets. Now, we all have things that we do quite often, and basically what it allows you to do is to save code anywhere you want and have it where it knows exactly where to put the cursor. So what you do is you write any code that you want. Here I have 3 that, I've already done, and it will know, hey, put the cursor wherever this word cursor is in all caps. That's the little catch there. So down here, you can see I want my cursor right before the M so that I can say what my border radius is. Now, these are kind of goofy examples. You might want to use this at medias and befores. I mean, the thing that sucks about before is you always have to do the content, and it's a pain in the ass and everybody forgets it. So there you go, and I tell you what, after the content, you know what? Let's have the cursor right in that content. We'll put it right in between there, and we will save changes. And so now BB2 is that before one. So I refresh the browser so that it gets the newer updates of what we just saved, and let's go back here. So now if I go in here and I type in BB, it shows me what my snippets are. So here I have that before one, and if I click it, there it is with my cursor right where we told it to be. So I could say, click here or whatever you happen to be doing in your CSS, all right? So you can see how quick and easy this is. And by the way, because I know that's snippet space 2, I could just go BB2 and press enter. So whatever your number is, and you might have seen that there's a little number here. And so if I wanted this rounded corners one, let's say I'm going to use that all the time and I want that to come up first, we do that. And if I refresh the browser here and I go in and I go BB1, and tab, and there's my border radius that I had drug it into place. So are you getting excited yet? Because this honestly, this really saves a ton of time, and it's fun. So now the last couple of features are really basic, but they're really awesome to have. So as we all know, when you put in a basic text, it puts in this, here goes your text, blah, 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 and all the time, I find I'm going off to Google to get some Lorem ipsum just as a holder, just to see what it looks like. But you don't have to anymore. Now all you have to do is type in the word Lorem. This pop-up will appear, and you can choose, do you want 1 line, paragraph, 2 paragraphs? I want 3 paragraphs. Boom, there it is. Done, okay? Now, there's 2 options here. One is to have this in basic text, and the other is to have it in rich text. And if I go to my rich text, come here, same, you just type in Lorem, and you come down and let's say I want 2 paragraphs there, 2 paragraphs lorem ipsum, okay? Very cool, very quick. Now, to show you the last feature, I can't tell you how many times I've done this. You click an element, you got your basic text here, and you think, oh, yeah, I need to, I don't know, let's say change the color, and I come in here and I change the color, and I go, ah, crap. I just did that on the ID level. And, you know, if I had $1 for every time I've done that. Real easy plug-in here. All you're going to do, let's turn that on. We'll refresh this. And now when I click an item, it automatically selects the first class, which is usually your predominant class, so that any changes that you make are being made on the class level. You know, you still can get to your, you know, we're not locking it out. You know, you can still get to your ID level simply by choosing not to, and you know, this can be turned off if you don't like this feature, but I'll tell you, it makes it so much better to quickly jump around and just click on things and say, oh, well, you know, kind of what's going on here. So there you go. Now, this is not meant to be the everything, you know, this slices, dices, does everything. So that's not the intention. The intention is to give you these features and have them super easy to control. You know, it's basic. You come in, you turn them on. There's settings icons right there. So you can just go to the settings for that item and, you know, change your stuff around. And the last thing I wanted to show you on this is, you know, you're able to take your settings, and that includes all your CSS snippets and everything, and just export them and then import them on any new site. So you never again have to set it up. Honestly, set up for this entire plugin should take all of about 20 seconds. But, you know, once you get all your snippets in, that could end up being quite a few snippets. And this way here, you just take it with you onto every new site and boom, it's ready to go. So that's it, guys. This is not meant to be a big, heavy plugin. And in fact, the price more than shows it. You know, normally it's going to be $69. Right now it's on launch price for $39. I'm not sure how long I'm going to hold that launch price. It's probably not going to be all that long. So, you know, you might want to check it if it's available. And yeah, the other thing is that is not a subscription. You're not paying that every year. You're not, you buy it, you own it. That's it. You'll get the updates for life, blah, blah. You know, this isn't a yearly, hey, time to pay your bill. So hopefully you guys like it, you know, leave a comment and I'll see you in the next video.